I I really don't like the one-up machines. I've never tried probably the ones you're talking about, the 3/4 scale or whatever, but I don't like the one-up product. Extremely low quality screens, bad emulation, zero to no options of emulation. You know what I mean? Like you don't have filter options or anything. It's you get what it is what it is. It's just the McDonald's Happy Meal pack-in television screen version of emulator, and you got shit buttons. It's a cheap build. The paint is real cheap. Everything's cheap on it, and it's overpriced for what you get. Because you can have a home console setup. You just get yourself a downscaler, download Fight Cave, had every game ever, and just like hook it up to a CRT and just get an arcade stick online, and that's so close to authentic arcade. Like, why would you want to waste it? The thing is, you can like go to a recycling drop-off zone and just pick up old computers and put like a single ROMs on there, and it has enough processing power. Like you can make a third strike machine here or there. Maybe it'd be better to be buying shells, but like I don't know about like even any old television screen you found by a dumpster is better than what the hell they're using at One Up. I think it's just a straight rip. But of course, I have minimal experience touching them. But you can just look at them online. You can see all the problems with them. Like if you know what you're looking at. It matters though. You might not care. There's a lot of people out there that just like, they have money and they just can't like get their rocks off until it's gone. Like it's like like the pay to win crowd. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a curse of convenience, but I'm not a fan of those things at all. I think that they're I think like if you want to get into a hobby, the last thing you should do is like spend a lot of money. You should like research and figure out like what's like what would be the best path to get the authentic experience without actually just buying individual real well kept arcade machines, because of course that's unreasonable, for a lot of price points and stuff like that. But like if you're a carpenter and just like if you know and you know how to run like if MSN or something, you know what I mean? Like if you know how to run if you know how to emulate a video game, and you know how to buy a downscaler, and a little carpentry, you can go to like a recycling drop off and just grab CRTs, grab old computers, and you can build yourself a home arcade if you had the space. This is something I want to do in the future. Is I'm just gonna start grabbing CRTs and be like, oh, this, a 1980s CRT, this would be perfect for Pac-Man. This would be perfect for Galaga. It's like, oh, 1990s CRT, this would be better for Street Fighter 2, and start just like going for the authentic things, because this is the cheapest. This is the cheapest way to do this stuff without actually finding and seeking arcades that have these things in its original format. This is the cheapest thing you can go to recycling places, go to dumps, just grab these things. They're American made, they're not broken yet. It lasts till it's smashed, as I always say, right? It's not that fucking modern, planned obsolescence bullshit. This is the real deal, American made, you know, raise 10 kids on a fucking giant plot of land on a minimum wage type of American dream you wish you had today. Like, you can just go and just dude, I got some tools, you know what I mean? Like, I got some battery saws and stuff, and just buy yourself a couple of plywoods. Now that's the most expensive part, but you know what? Start with cardboard. I'm not even fucking kidding. Go out, grab some of your old moving boxes and stuff like that. Put a little stool under there. Put a CRT there. Make yourself a cocktail. You can grab a CRT and put it on its ass. It's fine. It's not going to blow up. You're not going to get hurt. And it's not going to harm the tube. You know what I mean? Like, you can make a cocktail table just out of an old glass table you have right now with a CRT in there. You can mod some buttons. Just get yourself a drill bit. Get some buttonholes in there. You know what I mean? Like, you can do these things. And believe it or not, it's a million times cheaper than getting scammed by buying those fucking one-up arcade cabinets and just being like, hey, look at me, I'm a Zelda shirt, you know what I mean? I played Fantasy Star for 20 minutes on a ROM. Let me tell you how great it is. You know, you taught me that gaming galleon, so let me teach you it. No, I'm kidding. It's all right. I don't like them, but hey, dude, that's the curse of convenience, man. It's a direction to go, but it's not too late to change the path you're on. That's Led Zeppelin. They stole that from somebody, and I stole it from them. Woo! There's an opinion. Put that on a YouTube video. You know, you know, there really is like you know, like a way to go. Like you can make the thing yourself, and the information is online there. You know, and it's cheaper to go that way. It's cheaper to get that plywood. It's cheaper to paint it yourself. It's cheaper to hire a graffiti artist to make a beautiful mural on your arcade machine you built. In it than it is to go out and buy individual of these one up things and like, and it's not a scam, but you know it's a work, it's a project. But you know, you never know. You know, you just might. There are entrepreneurs out there on YouTube now. I don't know. They're not really in the mainstream, but you can look it up right now. But there are people that have made started producing their own cabinet builds out of their own home and selling them, and they're ready to. You know, they should teach it in schools how to make arcade machines. You know that channel Retro RGB. Like he was recently hired by the Museums of America to go and authenticize the video of all their old CRTs and stuff. Because in these old museums, they have like not only these old artist tapes that are deteriorating and stuff like that, but like these old 1940s tube TVs where they want to have these on display, playing World War II, you know, propaganda footage, but instead of doing it authentically, they were downscaling like 1080p YouTube footage with all the bitrate into a scaler, trying to pump it into the RF of the fucking thing, which was ruining it, and it wasn't really like that. And nobody really knows, but they must have took some criticism for this. And for some reason, all the museums in America now care about the authenticity of this. And the criticism didn't come from CRT addicts. It came from artists that created films back in the day where the film would be play on a modern TV and they're just like, no, this is not my art. This is not the way it was supposed to look. Like they were just old films nobody gave a fuck about that only been played in a theater once and stuff like that. Some of them were being deteriorated by rot. Some of them were just not being displayed correctly by the artist. And then all the museums started to care about this stuff. But it started with the art galleries, but it spread to the historical museums and shit like that. So like the authenticity of video image, the way the game was supposed to be played, you know, on its original format is being more legitimatized in history as it's becoming history, as it's becoming forgotten ancient history. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not like the shit's not unfindable. Like, you know, I have a ton of CRTs. I still see CRTs all the time. You know, one of these days, you know, I'm gonna probably have my own little like place, maybe my own garage, and I'm gonna start building arcade machines. I'm gonna put money in and start getting buttons and sticks and, you know, pieces from online where you can now have higher quality buttons today than we ever did in the 90s. Way better buttons, things that don't even like have sound. If you can have silent buttons, and they're way better buttons today than, you know what I mean, those Sanwan, you know what I'm talking about, even Quamba, you know what I mean, like the gear that's available for gaming is here. It's way better than it was. You know what I mean? And we still got plywood, we still got paint, and we still have artists, and we still have CRTs, and they're still in working condition. You know what I mean? And we can still put these things together. You know what I mean? We can use scalers from online if you want to, or you can hook it up yourself. You know, you can learn how online. They'll show you where you connect, where you make the connections. I can probably find some sources. You know, I looked it up online. I'm gonna do it again. You know, it's a you can do that. You know. But that's the thing. It's the curse of convenience, right? It's buy those, you can buy things like, but I feel the same way about all emulation kind of devices that are just, 101, here's some sort of thing, I don't know, like I really just don't think that stuff's cool, because as someone that does care about retro games, I just feel that it doesn't give video games a fair shake. Like, let me bring up the fucking review. I brought it up last time, but it really just pisses me off that because it doesn't look anything like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pat the NES Punk's review of Slalom. God, this guy's such a goofball, dude. So he plays everything on like shit tier emulation, so it like doesn't work properly. All the reviews are bad, but let me find the Slalom one. Here it is. So this is like very strange, because it's like, thing is, like, why the fuck would you care? You know what I mean? Like, you're into video games, why the fuck would you care about video game authenticity? You know what I mean? But when you see like when he plays this, there's like these weird lines and stuff. I was playing this game yesterday. You can check my VODs, but this is not how the game looks at all. Like these lines and stuff. I have no idea how he's picking that up, because that's not what I got when I was streaming the game. It's just so bizarre. Like it was super smooth, and he says the game has like bad controls and stuff. This game's awesome. You ever play Slalom? It's so good. It's like because games are being played on their original playing on their original you know format, they don't get a fair shake, because the way it is, it's just, modern TVs are very slow, they're very clunky, they're cheaply made, they're unethically made. They're not made in America, and they're just not built to last, and they burn out, and they suck, and they're slow. They're built not on light speed, they're built on processing power, and they cheap out on it, and they don't tell you what the good options are. They may not even be available. I've never seen it. So it's like it's a bit of a shit show, but I kind of feel that retro games definitely don't get a fair shake a lot of the time. People play them and they think they're hard, but they're not even playing. Like the thing is that there's so much like information that they're not even getting, based on like the smoothness of the sprite movement, and like you know what I mean. Like I can get hella into it, as I've gone hella into it for the past 10 years, but let me tell you, no one cares.